I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the High Fidelity Season 1, Episode 3 and 4 After Show. I'm your girl, Trina Dong, but I can't do this alone. Next to me, directly to my left, is the music man himself, Mr. Kenneth Ware.
Yes, here ready to break down all that good music.
So much good music. And, of course, to his left, we have the fictional band guru. You heard it here first, Mr. Keven Allen.
How's it going, everyone? I love real music from people who don't exist.
Ooh, examples to come later.
Like Spinal Tap.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, everyone knows Spinal Tap.
Well, guys, we
They said
had
it all.
some really great episodes tonight. 3 and 4 is what we're covering. Lots of stuff happened. What are your overall thoughts, guys? Tell me about it.
Rob is going through a lot. I have anxiety just watching her try to handle all of these different things from the record shop and her personal life. So I have anxiety. That's
Same.
what Rob is giving me.
This show's so much fun to watch. I loved that the first episode was just going down the list. The second episode was now it's a playlist. And I was like, what are they going to do for the continuing series? And they didn't really follow that like bullet pointed structure. But I feel like each episode is her trying to make her chaotic life simple through music or some form thereof. And it just not really working out for her.
I agree with all of those things. So let's get right into it.
Let's do it.
So we found out about a new person from Rob's brother. And we searched for a girl named Lily. Guys, how do we feel about Mac having a new chick already?
Well, first off, the way that the episode 2 ended with posing the question for Lily, and then we started back up
Just
on
screaming on the
episode
street about
3.
it. Yeah.
I'm like, who is Lily? We
For
need to
real.
find out who she is. So it broke my heart a little
Yeah.
bit. I'm like, wow, he moved on really fast.
Yeah, I mean, I felt for her. And the more that we learned about Lily, and by learned about Lily, the more I felt for her because she is just this I don't even know what to call it. Like, I don't want to be like, Lily's a shell of a human being.
She's just
But-
very different from
well,
Rob.
Yeah, very different.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, her being in that brunch setting, all sunny and morning personality, when she's very much a bar setting kind of girl, very night owl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very different. But everything we know about her on her Instagram is kind of basic.
Yeah.
Like the fact that she's not on her Instagram, but it's just all of this other stuff that really, who doesn't love puppies and sunshine?
For sure. And it makes her a little easy to find, so that's kind of fun. And we do start to see the relationship with Rob and Simon show a little bit because he's very concerned for her. So we see that he's like the one that's really going to be looking out, I think. What do you guys think about that relationship, knowing their past?
He's also empathetic with her.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that she has him around so that he can look out for her because it's like she's just going closer and closer and closer to the edge, and it's just like come back. It's going to be okay.
She feels the most whole around him, I
Yeah.
think. Like, not that he's an anchor for her, but I feel like she is just always in a better mood and feels more complete in whatever cockamamie scheme she's going after when she's in his presence.
Yeah, like it's her actual reality when she's around him, and then she's spinning out kind of otherwise.
Yeah, maybe she is an anchor, you're right. That's
Maybe,
a good
I
point.
don't... Who knows what's going on actually in Rob's
Rob don't.
head. Let's talk about my favorite scene,
Yes.
the Froze scene, and that it was called the Lily. So she tracked her down, which is something that a lot of people do these days on that social media. Find a place where these people go and wait.
I got 2 questions.
Yeah.
1, a lot of people do that?
I mean...
That's scary.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. And 2, was it called a Lily or was that just her going crazy?
Oh, that actually could be true. I took it
could've
as there could have been a weird in her head thing. You're right.
Right.
Now saying that, I think you're probably right. But I just remember the quirky bartender just saying, the Lily, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, it's very fitting for a rosé drink to be named the Lily. So, that's just what kind of girl she is.
Totally.
I will go back to this social media stalking
Yes,
that
let's.
is happening
Right.
in the 21st century with everyone. But yes, that's just scary when you fall into a kind of wormhole. You go back 20 weeks and you look at a picture, then you're trying to connect the dots. Like, that's what she did. And she eventually, when you search for something, you're going to find what you're looking for.
100%.
And she eventually stumbled upon this place. And it could have been like a dream type sequence, or it was kind of because even when they ended the scene,
surreal.
The homeless person with the lily on the sign. So
Oh, yeah, I remember that
and
part now.
everybody
Okay.
was saying Lily in the restaurant, so it could have been her just in her head as well.
You're right.
Yes, no social media stalking.
If you can help it. I mean, sometimes you gotta know.
You can help it.
Sometimes you gotta know. Maybe don't go somewhere.
Yeah.
But maybe just have
That's when it becomes
knowledge.
stalking.
Yeah, it's a little different when you're like just mentally stalking. Agree with me. You don't agree with me?
Yeah,
Okay.
everyone's done that.
We've done it.
We're all human.
Yeah,
Exactly. All right, so let's move on. We have another new character
Mm-hmm.
on the show, Mr. Liam,
Mm.
Rob's new boy that comes into the record store. What do we think when he came in?
I was excited.
Yeah?
I was glad that he was taking initiative and following up with her, because I knew that she wasn't going to. She still hung up. And if he was the hand to reach down into the muck and pull her out of her doldrums, then great. I felt exactly like her compatriots in that store. Really glad he showed up and wanted it to be a nice place for him so that he continued to come back and see her.
There we go. There we go. And she clearly has this love for a musician,
Yes.
right? Like she saw him walk in, it's like she knew. She clicked in to what he was about and saw something a little different than Mac. What do you think about that?
Definitely. It was sweet. It was. I'm glad that, like you said, that he came to the store to check it out. You could tell she was smitten by him, and it was just good to see her kind of not necessarily dating, but being in that space where she's open to some type of relationship with someone.
Yeah.
And he just happens to be a cool rock star. So
Duh.
Okay, let's try this
It's
out.
so
Let's see what
obvious.
happens.
Yeah.
Yes.
And also, she's spinning out completely about everything else. She's obsessing so hard about these things that she can't control. It was cool to watch her participate in something that maybe she could control for that time.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she ends up going to his show with Charisse and Simon. Yeah?
They showed up at the show. She missed the show, but showed up at the bar after.
Yes, showed up at the bar after.
So we caught a glimpse of it. But,
What do we think about the whole, like you said, showing up late, intentional? How do we feel on the other side of that?
I guess it was a little rude, but I don't know.
Yeah, she's not committed to this guy or anything. So I don't think showing up late was, really. I'm glad she just showed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I concur. Yeah.
See, I think she's trying a little hard to not get caught up. And so thinking, I'm not going to get caught up. I will not show up on time. So then trying to do maybe a little too much instead of just like flowing.
Taking those steps to make sure that this does not work out.
Yeah, this must not work out.
You're totally right. Because, it's classic Rob. She's in her head and overthinking everything and making a scheme. Yeah.
Exactly. And so she ends up going home with him.
Yes.
So cringeworthy.
Tell us about what we find out and how we feel. And then I'll obviously be telling you how I feel shortly after.
I was so okay, so she went on her word vomit and laid out all her baggage and right in front of him because they were very close together. And I was like, oh God, Rob, why are you ruining this? Why are you doing this to this poor guy? And then he reciprocated and he kind of opened up himself. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is great. This is what she needs. I'm so happy. I can't wait to see where this, oh my God, no. That revelation was, man, I was climbing that hill. I was running up that mountain. And I was
You were with him.
Yeah, and then I threw myself off the mountain because it was terrible.
When we found out he graduated recently from high school and not college, he was not at Columbia, y'all. He was in high school.
I'm hoping maybe it was a GED situation.
No, it was pretty basic public high school, I think.
High school, yes.
What would you do? I want to know what you would do.
Oh, that was like it was like you said, it was the build up, it was the climb to this moment. It was just like it started off awkward. She just was overthinking and her mouth was running a mile a minute. But like you said, he was there. He was cool with it. He was real chill and laid back.
Yeah.
And you thought that things were about to get, well, they were hot and steamy. And I was like, okay, like this is like, I was like, Rob is about to get some.
Yeah.
And then she will
what
stop.
she needs right now.
Yes. And then when she made the comment about, college, and he was like, oh no, it's high school. I was just like, oh, like wait, like just like last year, like you just
like this wasn't like
graduated.
10 years ago you went to high school.
It took me a
Like,
moment. I was like, I
yeah.
need clarification. Like, did I really hear that?
Like you
Yeah.
still have your SAT scores, like handy.
So
like,
traumatizing.
horrible. Yes, so
Maximum trauma.
I'm
That's
glad
the worst
that she
thing that
got
could have
up.
happened.
Yes, I'm glad that she removed herself.
She ran
Yes.
like the wind.
to let it process. Let's process it.
Going back a little bit, just to what she was talking about, she did share with him, obviously she opened up a lot, but she shared that she wasn't sure why Mac was with Lily because she seemed so uncomplicated. And then she started questioning, why would he want to be with me then if he wants someone not complicated? So I feel like that thought is a start to yet another spiral.
A spiral
Oh, yeah.
of beating herself up for things that all these hypotheticals, like that's kind of the theme of the series with her,
Exactly.
but her just overthinking. And this is just classic Rob, overthinking and getting herself worked up instead of working out her issues.
Well, that leads us to episode 4 and the end of episode 3 into episode 4 where she decides that she's going to go on this little adventure to find out why her biggest heartbreaks left her and why she's doomed to always be left.
Yes.
So it starts with her first one, which was pretty innocent, like the 7th grade situation and the conversation with the mom.
I love the conversation. The mom was shady boots. The mom was shady boots.
She did not care. Her son was
She-
pure to her.
It was no
Yeah.
F's given. I would like to applaud the mom for handling that. And she's like, look, if you want to speak with him, he's on Facebook. I got to go. Love it. Shout out to the mom.
For real.
Okay.
It was so good. But then she was like, oh, it's fine because he married the person right after me, so clearly this was fate, and I didn't do a thing.
Correct.
Yeah.
So then we move on. Who do we have next?
I was surprised that happened so quickly.
Yeah.
Like when the when the episode started and
Yeah.
she's like, I'm gonna do this thing, I'm gonna go down the list. I was like, oh, this is what each episode is going to be, is her going down that list. And then I was surprised that she took care of all of them in this one episode.
Well, because we have more craziness to move on to. We can't stick to
No,
that.
but that's what I just,
Yeah.
well, all her craziness, I expected to last a whole 30
Sure.
minutes just for this one guy overthinking things and drawing it out.
yeah.
But no, it moved right along.
Real fast.
And so her next one was Steve, right?
Simon.
Simon. Oh my God, sorry. I'm
Simon.
so bad
No,
with
that's okay. That's okay. So Simon, her best friend,
Yeah.
clearly, who we just spoke about, and he basically told her what? Do we remember?
Yeah, that he didn't really, like, they're still together.
Yeah, exactly.
There really wasn't a breakup. He just
Yeah.
had the revelation or shared the revelation with her that he's into men.
Mm-hmm.
But they still, whatever their relationship was, is still going on.
Yeah.
Right. They have a beautiful friendship.
Exactly. He said, I never left you.
Yeah.
And asked to be struck off the list. And she said, fine.
Yeah, that was a really
It was
nice,
sweet.
moment. Yeah.
Yeah, it was so good. Okay, so next, she reached out to Kat, who she found
Mm-hmm.
on Instagram, the female.
Well, before that, it was the
Comedy guy.
comedy. Yes.
Justin.
Oh, right,
Yes.
right.
Justin, she went to his stand-up show, and we
Correct.
found out something pretty shocking in that.
I mean, he. It's kind of like when you think about your exes and you wonder where they are, and then like 10 years later, and you see them, and it's like, oh, you have drama, your kids don't like you, and all of this. It was just kind of like I was like,
you've got kids.
Yeah.
And they don't like you.
yes,
Well, and she found out that she dumped him.
yes.
I was like, girl, how did you not remember
Yeah, right.
that you dumped him? And she was like, oh, well, I don't have any problems because he's got a kid and I dumped him. So he's off the list too.
She didn't do a lot of thinking before she. It's like she created the list and just
Yeah.
went. She didn't even research or think about the situation.
She overthinks everything after the fact.
Yes.
Yeah, she takes the walk first and then
Yeah,
she has to
yeah.
backpedal every time.
Yeah, I can relate.
Okay, then we have Kat, who
Yeah.
she saw, she hit up, she slid in her DMs and saw that she had a check mark, blue check mark. So she's like,
Blue
ooh,
check.
she's on her glow up. She glowed up.
Yes.
We went to a party.
Infamous Instagram influencer party, very reminiscent of something in the Hollywood Hills,
Yeah,
or
right. That was-
Hollywood, or where you can find anywhere across LA.
That was the first time on the show where I was like, oh, I'm glad I moved to Los Angeles and can relate to this. Oh man.
What were they? It was soju or was it
Yeah.
sake?
Soju.
Soju.
Mm-hmm.
That was everybody taking pictures with the bottles and her just kind of being like, wow, this is a thing. And she was drinking her Pacific Go. Is that what
Mm-hmm.
it's called?
Yes.
Loved it.
First off, with that jacket, when Kat kind of sized her up and was just like,
Okay,
these pictures
we're all
are
in
not-
agree that was like terrible, that jacket.
The jacket was terrible, and it was also very rude to tell
Yeah.
her that she was not styling enough to be in this room with these influencers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kat said it was breathable. However, it was not appropriate. It was funny.
Because she was going to be in the background of pictures, basically.
Yes,
You
and
don't
she
wanna
ended
do
up
that.
in the background of pictures in a big puffy
pictures were terrible, by the
jacket.
Exactly, with like Shrek face every time.
Yes.
No bueno. But she was very real with, I think, probably the realest of sharing why they broke up to Rob.
Oh,
Right.
yeah, Kat. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. She was totally straightforward, perfectly frank, and gave in detail,
Yeah.
which probably is not what Rob wanted. But Rob got exactly what she came for.
Yeah. Just that basically she was always searching for herself, which we are seeing, which is like, yeah, obviously, but I still don't know that she took that in. I think it shallowly landed.
No, I don't think.
I don't know if Rob ever takes anything in.
Very, very dramatic.
But I
Okay.
know that she is thankful for the information that was
Yeah.
given to her by Kat. Kat, like you said, she was very straightforward. So
Like that
very
first
thankful.
sentence or two of Kat's, she definitely took that in and was like, okay, cool. And I saw it in her face, like, I got what I came for and now I know why. But then once Kat kept giving her more information and really
Yeah.
got to the core of the matter, like she had checked out by that point. She got what she came for in the first sentence. After that, it was just like, she's like, okay, I got my answer. I don't need to hear this now. And was
Yeah.
totally deflecting everything.
I think she probably felt much better, though, after, because she kind of didn't care about what she was saying. It didn't affect her
Right.
as much as I think she was expecting these things to
okay.
affect her.
Yes.
Because she was going to really find something true and then have to, again, reevaluate. But I think she just let it sit and, okay, this really doesn't bother me that much. That's kind of what I saw, which I thought was
good.
interesting because brushing things off is not really her forte. But
Yeah.
Her attitude about things is slightly changing. It's still like, why are we on this quest to hit up all your exes?
because I think she really only cares about Mac.
Yeah, and so that's the thing is, each one of the people she had talked to prior, she came out with like, oh, I didn't have to worry about anything. It was totally fine. It wasn't me. I'm great. I don't need to change.
Right.
Kat gave her an answer that was like, this is something you should consider maybe about yourself and how, you could grow from this. She either brushed it off or deflected it. Anyway, she didn't take it in either way for whatever reason, because when it comes down to it, the only opinion she really valued was Mac's.
Yeah. And then she got caught on his stoop.
Yes.
Nice and awkward. As always, yeah.
Awkward.
There's nowhere to go
Like-
when you're on
like
a
how
stoop.
she turned to
Behind
leave
you
and
is
that's
the
when he got her.
door, and then he's right there. What do we do? What would you do in that moment if Rob ends up on your stoop?
Oh, if I was in Mac's
Yeah, if
position,
you were Mac.
probably exactly what he did. Just like the, hey, what are you doing?
Please explain yourself.
Yeah.
And you said before that, or someone said before, that he had moved on kind of fast to Lily. I feel like it was a long time. A year being in London is
No, that's plenty of space.
that's plenty of time
space.
physically
to have a
and
new
time
girl.
wise.
plenty of space, but just the fact that he was about to propose to Rob, and then
Yeah.
now he's
Yeah,
already you've left that relationship, and within 12 months, you've met someone and moved back to America, and now you're also engaged again. It's just I'm a little cautious about people that kind of hopscotch
It was
from relationships.
those revelations that took me by
Yeah.
surprise. Him being with someone new after a year makes total sense to
Yeah.
me. But finding out he's actually been with someone new since, for all we know, like a couple weeks.
Sure.
And then they've been together all this time. And in that short amount of time, like that's when I found out that's what was going on. Not that it was a brand new relationship, but this was an old relationship that he's moving really fast with.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I thought was.
You're right. I guess I just felt showing up on his stoop a year later seems just very like, oh, we're back at it 1 year now. Even no matter what he's going through, she still didn't really process the whole year.
She
Yeah,
did.
that's very fair. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that rounds up those episodes. So we've got a really fun special segment.
Yes.
We're going to be talking about a really fun playlist. Kenneth, take it away.
This is the New Flame playlist. And with this New Flame playlist, we're celebrating Liam and Rob's, New Flame. So I want to know, what are some songs that you would put on your New Flame playlist?
I made a list.
Oh, you have a whole list yourself.
A whole list.
Let's Hear It for the Boys. I don't know who sings that, but that's a fun, upbeat, I don't give a damn type of song. I feel like that's fun. Does anybody know who sings that song? Me either. Okay.
I can kind of hear it in my head.
You can only kind of hear it in your head. Well, I'm not going to sing it for you, but we'll play it later.
Yeah, I know it's really peppy. Yeah.
I also said Come On Over by Christina Aguilera.
Okay.
Which is a classic Christina. And then Fake Love by BTS.
Oh, yeah, some K-pop. Very
Yeah,
nice.
obviously,
I like
of
that.
course.
That fits right in with New Flame.
Yeah.
Okay. My two picks that I think kind of match yours, okay, I see your Let's Hear It for the Boys and I counter you Take Me Home Tonight by Eddie Money.
Ooh.
Just those fun 80s pop jams are whatever, the night is young, I don't care as long as we're together and we're smooching or something. So that and I Don't Want to Lose Your Love Tonight. I don't know the actual title of that song, but by The Outfield. Josie's on a vacation far
There we
away.
go. Thank you for singing it.
Talk it over. Yeah, that one.
Okay, that's a good one. That was a long pause. Sorry about.
It's okay. I mean, I'm that's not the biggest 80s jam, but
Yeah.
for some reason, to me, it's a huge up song, and
Yeah.
it's all about whatever happens, just don't walk out that door, stay in mind, kind of thing. That's the vibe I get from it, at least.
That's a good vibe.
Well, if anyone out there knows those songs, please put that in the comments.
Comment below.
Oh, I got a more obscure one.
Okay.
So New Flame playlist is hard for me. That's why I went with the 80s pop rock jams. I love breakup songs, so bittersweet, heartache kind of thing. So my first pick was "Love Is Only a Feeling" by The Darkness.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
That hits a
Nope.
different way.
Nope.
That hits a different playlist.
But it's this whole it's this bittersweet, because The Darkness. Everyone knows them for I Believe in a Thing Called Love,
Yeah.
and so it's kind of they want to have that vibe. Thank you, thank you, Ryan. And it's this whole I don't want to fall in love again,
Yeah.
but the clouds are parting and they're shining on you and me, and God found it.
Whoa.
I feel it in my heart again. Yeah,
Poetic.
It's trying to deny
Kevin.
love, but you can't.
Wow,
I love
deep.
it. Yeah.
That was so deep. I will go with, first I want to thank the fans for making us the ESPN of TV talk. Make sure you click like, subscribe, and comment, especially if you know any of these songs that we're discussing. And
Please
we
do it for our
not
benefit
know the
specifically.
artist. I will go with, and make sure if you're listening to us on iTunes, 5 stars. But we just wanted to thank you. But also, my playlist, I would definitely put, it's just very spot on. I would go to some R&B. I would do the collaboration between Usher and Chris Brown titled New Flame.
That does make sense.
That would probably be the first song on the playlist.
As soon as you said collab, I thought you were going to, for some reason, say Mariah Carey and Boyz II Men, One Sweet Day. And I was like,
no.
that's not what this playlist is about.
Ooh.
Go on.
No, but that was it. New Flame.
Oh, got it.
Yes.
That's a good one. We also have some really fun news. Some people were out and about. Kevin, take it away.
So Zoe was spotted in Paris at Paris Fashion Week alongside her papa, Mr. Lenny Kravitz.
Mm-hmm.
They both had front row seats alongside Hailey Bieber, who's a fashion model, in case you guys didn't know that. They were front row at the St. Laurent runway at Paris Fashion Week. And there's lots of photos of her out there. We're actually throwing them up right now on our YouTube feed if you guys are seeing that. They're not cheap Instagram poses. They are her in actually good-looking clothes, looking good and real at the same time.
Yeah,
we
Zoe
go.
looks wonderful. Her dad, Lenny,
He's always
he's
been
a
stylish.
legend. He's just she gets that style from her mom and dad. Haley she's giving that over the shoulder. I just married Justin Bieber.
Yeah, but she's a pro.
Fun.
She's a pro before that.
yeah, definitely. But I mean, she's married to Mr. Bieber, so that's an extra little some little swag.
That's when I found out who she was. I hate to say that. I didn't know her as Hailey Baldwin.
Well, there's always really good fashion on the show, too.
Yes.
Zoe and her real life, just her day-to-day fashion is always cool, but the show fashion is pretty fun. It's like
I dig it.
90s grunge vibes.
Yes,
Definitely thrift shopping, T-shirts, the classic T-shirts with the funny sayings. I mean, that's been the kind of theme since the beginning.
Yeah.
I always look at her fashion is what, when Paris discovered grunge fashion, when that came into the front line in the 90s, and Paris tried to emulate that and make it fashionable, I feel like what she's dressed as is what they were actually going for.
There you go.
It's that grunge look, but it looks good.
And you definitely can take it back to, like you said, her parents. Like, her parents have always, it's kind of the maybe modern grunge version of what they're up to, or they were up to, probably still up to. I think it's really cool to look at them as a fam. They all look fly all the time, every time.
It's a mix of Lenny's rock star image and Lisa Bonet's Cosby character going into a different world. So it's kind of meshed
like
those together. Like, yes,
Oversized
really
clothes and
cool.
stuff. Did anyone notice, like, to me it was an Easter egg because I'm a 90s kid and grew up with cartoons, that she dressed like Doug Funny in episode 4.
Yes, the vest and the white t-shirt
All right,
and
that
the
was bothering me. I
khakis.
was like, was this intentional?
Yes.
Because then
Oh
I threw
my
the jacket
gosh.
over and it was a whole new look, but, like, at first I was like, how do you not notice that?
That definitely was an Easter egg.
That was so good. I didn't put them together, but that's so good.
Yeah, I mean, it was exactly that, just with a little bit of those, like, fashionable holes and then torn up jeans, but...
So good. All right, guys, that's it for this episode. Y'all, where can they find you on the internet? Tell us.
All right, Instagram and Twitter, meet Kenneth Ware.
My Twitter is Kevin Allen Says, and my shallow Instagram is Kevin Allen Graham.
And you guys can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Hey Trina Dong. That's it for this episode of the High Fidelity After Show. Please tune in for upcoming episodes.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Do any of you guys have that blue check mark? Or
No.
Okay.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.